Floss 2 Bits Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching. Today is Sunday. It is the 6th of August, I believe. And this is Chart of the Week video number 148, which should have been recorded last weekend, but had a busy weekend and did not get it done. So I am here today. Dan is out in the garage working, and hopefully the dogs will stay somewhat quiet. We are expecting Adeline and Emma and the new puppy, Penny, this afternoon for babysitting duty, and Abby and Reese are in town, so they're going to be stopping by, possibly spending the night, I think. So, yeah, it's going to be busy later today, so I thought I'd better get this done. Let's start with last video's the chart of the week. The last time was at home from With a Needle and Thread, and I had asked a question regarding taking your stitching to on vacation, or do you take your stitching with you when you go places? Overwhelming, the response was yes. There's a pretty cardinal. Oh, sorry, squirrel. Yes, people take their stitching on vacation. A lot of people take it with them when they go someplace they're going to be sitting for a while. There were very few that said they did not take stitching with them. So, thank you for your responses. There were, like, if I'm remembering correctly, 78 comments, which is amazing. Thank you. Although, I was watching, who was I watching? I was watching someone, and she had, how many? It was like over 1,000 comments on her video, and I'm like, oh my God, how do you even read them all? I don't know how. Yeah, I'll take 78. I would take 100. I don't know, 1,000. I can't even imagine that there's 1,000 people that watch the video. So even if everyone commented, I don't think it would be that much. So anyway, yeah, the response was overwhelming. Yes, you do take your stitching with you when you go on vacation. I only had one question last week from Joanne Johnson, and she asked me about slubs and linen and how you deal with them when you're stitching. This is just my personal opinion and how I deal with them when I'm stitching. And I'm unclear exactly what you're referring to as the slub. There's two different, what I consider two different things that are slubs in linen. One of them is they kind of stick up and are kind of loose and you can move them, and the other are like real thick portions of a thread. If they're kind of sticking up and kind of loose, I try and pull them down to the back side and get rid of them if I can. Otherwise, I ignore it. The thicker, fatter slubs are a little more difficult to deal with, but in my experience, the way I deal with them is I treat them like anything else. Does it make that stitch a little bit fatter than the others? Yes. But I have not had any negative comments about that from like the judges at the state fair. So I would think if I wasn't handling it correctly, they would say something. I know some people kind of try and stitch down in the middle of it, but I would think that would throw any further stitching off. So I just treat it like any other thread in the fabric and stitch over it like everything else. that's what I do. If anyone else has any other advice for Joanne, please leave it in the comments for her. I'm sure she would appreciate anybody else weighing in on that too. But Joanne, that's how I handle it. So hopefully that helps. Today's chart of the week, or this week's chart of the week, however you wish to look at it. It is today, but it is also this week. So either one works. Is from the Artsy Housewife. She is fairly new to my shop. I don't know how long she's been around, but she's fairly new to my shop. And I chose to feature Byron Blackbird. He's been very popular. Byron is, I should have grabbed my glasses, 120 by 75 stitches, large, and it's called for 30 count. She did a written coffee dyed linen using 2 strands of floss over 2 fabric threads. I have very little 30 count. Nobody seems to care for it in my region, so I don't have a whole lot of it. I still have 30 count tin roof and putty, I think, from way back when Marianne first started the shop, bringing in cross stitch. So hold on a minute. Okay, where was I? It uses DMC floss, and then a skein of Schneckley from Weeks Dye Works, and 1 or 2 skeins of Blackbird by Classic Colorworks, depending on the count of fabric that you decide to use. So this is what the fabric or the floss looks like. And on this, you're going to see that I have 2 colors that are dark. And that is because the people that have purchased the chart in my shop did not care for the Blackbird that's called for. So there's the colors. And the Blackbird was too brown for them. So as an alternative, I have been suggesting Black Crow, which has more of a blue-black look to it. You like my little thingy? I left the one I usually use at work, so you know, the paintbrush works. But that's your color palette right there, and you can use whatever darker color that you prefer. So it's not too many overdyes. So if you've never tried them before, this would be a good one to try it, because there's only 2. So it wouldn't cost a whole lot of money. And it calls for, like I said, a coffee tea dyed RIT dye fabric. I'm pretty sure this picture, it looks like white with purpley splotches on it. So I'm pretty sure that's not what it actually looks like. So I just pulled some fabrics that look good with the floss. That's all I can do. And I kind of went a little overboard on fabrics because I don't know why. I just went a little overboard. So I have a wide range of, I've got some blues and some greens and some darks and some lights. Basically the lighter colors, for the most part, are surrounded by other colors, with the exception of this pinky color. So you just want to make sure that this will show up on what you're using, or you want to darken it or swap it out for something else. So those are my notes of caution for you. The lighting is really bad today. It's very overcast. And it's precipitating a little bit right now. Last night we were supposed to get possibly severe storms, but I think some places did, but we didn't get anything. So I apologize for the lighting. First up is 32 count Duxbury from Fox and Rabbit. This is a very coffee tea dyed looking piece that they've put in the, probably put in the oven and baked, I would guess, because that's how mine turns out when I put it in the oven. I use walnut crystals on mine. So that's what that looks like. And
Raining.
yeah, I see that. That is what the floss looks like. And again, you can choose whatever dark one, but you can, at least I can see that this has got more blue to it than the brown. It's entirely up to you what your preferences are. Trying to fold that back up. I'm going to put these in the bags as I go, so there'll be some crinkling of plastic. This is a 40 count Dusty Road from Seraphim. It's got some kind of golden in it and some blush colored. So I thought it would look good. This one might be one that you would want to make sure that that peachy color shows up good, because it's a little on the lighter side. It's not what I would consider light, but a little on the lighter side. Maybe it'll get a little lighter now that the rain is over already. This maybe 5 minutes of rain. We've had a lot recently. I think we're getting all our spring rain in August. End of July and August. This is a 28 count Neutrality from Mystic Fabrics. It's a Lugana. It's a pretty color. It's just a very nice neutral. Has little hints of pink in it, pinky peach, which I think would be pretty with those colors. But I don't think in this lighting you're going to be able to see it, or I'd hold it up. But I've shown it before where you could see it. So it would be a good choice. Lola's nibbling her food. She's a grazer. And this is Neutrality in an 18 count Aida. And again, it's just a nice neutral. And in this case, the Aida and the Lugana are fairly close. I think the Lugana has a little bit more brown in it, pinky brown, than this. But it's close. This is Cecil. I have shown Cecil before, and there are 2 different dye lots in this bag. This is why dye lots make a difference. So this is by Seraphim. This is the old dye lot that I got. Very muted, soft. This is the last that I got. So it's a little more bold. The colors are bolder. It's got more blue in it than green. But, you know, it has its uses, and I think this is one of them where this would be really pretty on it. But it's just kind of a, you know, hey, yet another reason to check your dye lots and make sure you have your floss when you're buying your fabric. I really like how this one looks with those colors. But again, it's a little darker than some of the ones that I showed. And I like darker colors. Not all of you do. This one is also from Seraphim. Just bit my canker sore. That hurt. Seraphim, and it is called Prairie Grass, which also comes in different. This time it's got a lot of blush color to it. I've had it where it's had more green in it. But I think the colors look good on there. Again, the lighting is just really bad today. In person, this looks way better. I never know how you guys are seeing it because everyone's monitors are different. I was watching Cornhusker State Stitchers this morning, their latest video, and Terry was complaining about something to do with the orange. The lighting kept changing on her, and I didn't see anything when I was watching it, but I don't know, maybe you guys noticed something on your videos, but I didn't notice anything. This is 36 count Beethoven from Color and Cotton. It's just a nice neutral beige. Would work just fine. Spread that out a little more so you can see it. I'm going to go ahead and unwind these. Maybe that'll help the situation some. There. Does that help any? Pretty fabric. There's very little ugly fabric. And even ugly fabric has its uses. It's like murky. I think murky is the ugliest fabric, but sometimes it just does magical things. This is 28 count natural with cocoa gingham from Weeks Dye Works. This seems to be difficult for people to stitch on, and I don't understand why. You just stitch on it like anything else, but a lot of people think that the squares interfere. This would give it a little more country primitive look. I kind of like it. What do you guys think? Yes or no? I like it. I think that would be good. Okay, we just finished the neutrals. We're going to go into the blues next. See, I could have kept pulling all kinds of colors because I didn't really find, there were a few I found that I'm like, nah. But for the most part, this one's stubborn, doesn't want to go back in the bag. For the most part, I didn't have a problem picking pretty colors. Okay, this one is Cauldron from Picture This Plus. It's 32 count. It's blue with some orangey running through it. See the orangey? Rusty colored. And I think it looks really pretty on there. And I think if you're looking at this, this is, I believe, inside other things, so it would be fine. I think there might be one. No, I think it'd be fine. I liked how that looked. I'm running out of room to put it. Had it all in a basket next to my chair. All right, this is 18 count Feldspar, which is lighter than the 32 count linen Cauldron, but I still think it would look good. By the way, that's what, Dan is stitching again. You'll see him in next weekend's video we recorded this morning before this. But he's stitching on Feldspar. And I like that. Everything would show up pretty good. Trying to keep these in the order I'm showing them so that when I write my notes, I can write them in the order in which you see them so you know what it is. 18 count Jack Frost Aida from Seraphim, also a blue. A little bit darker than Feldspar, not as dark as Cauldron. Options. I'm all about options. Ooh, now we're getting into the darks. This is 36 count Timberwolf, and it is from, I don't know. I'm not feeling a tag on it, and this doesn't say, but see how it's a dark bluish grayish color, and you will probably have to change this one, lighten it up if you were to choose this dark one. I think it'd be pretty. It'd give it like that midnight sky look. This is Vintage Vogue by the same person that makes the Timberwolf, and again, I'm not seeing a tag on it anywhere. It's a kind of a grayish green. It's got green undertones. I like that too. Couple more. Gave lots of choices this time. Lots and lots of choices. Next up is Tin Roof from Weeks Dye Works. This is the Zweigart base, and this is 36 count. It is a greenish fabric. And I think it would look good in that. We're having a cooler day today. A couple of days this week it was very, very hot, and literally you could feel the humidity. Like it was a living entity this week. But it's better. Just like 70, supposed to be 77 today, and the humidity's not as bad. It's still a little damp, but obviously since it was raining. This is Bramble from, I believe it's Seraphim. Those other two might be Seraphim also. I like that one too. Have you guys been looking at the sneak peeks for Needlework Marketplace? I've been getting emails, and I'm really happy that it's like they're posting and sending the full images out, because personally sneak peeks they're just kind of frustrating for me. And last but not least is 28 count Moss Lugana from Seraphim. It's definitely green. So check those out. I think I put there's a Facebook page and there's an Instagram hashtags. I put both of them in my latest newsletter, which is posted on Reflections Facebook page, where you can check out all the different designers. There are quite a few designers I was not familiar with that are taking part in this show, so check it out. If anyone needs me to order anything, let me know. Moss, Seraphim, Lugana. So I think, this is a pretty easy one to pick a fabric for. And I think little Byron is a cute little bird. So hopefully you enjoyed this fabric parade, because it was a pretty big one. So this week's question of the week, we've had, I don't know about you, but there's all this brouhaha over, the Mega Millions, and it's like over $1 billion at this point, and you like to daydream. Someone has to win. Why not me? Kind of thing. So I was daydreaming the other day about what I would do if I were to win. Do I think that's going to happen? No. But someone has to win. It could be me. And what would I do? And so my question to you is, after you've done all the, paid off your bills and given money to your kids and, donated to your favorite charity, what is the first thing after you've taken care of the business end of things? You can, hopefully invested some of it for, the family's future. What would be the very first thing frivolous? I'm going to call it frivolous because it's not a necessity. Just the very first thing you would buy for yourself. Is there a car you've always wanted? Is there some piece of jewelry you've always wanted? Maybe you want to buy a cross-stitch store. What non-essential thing would you get for yourself? I thought about it long and hard. After I paid off our bills and after, put some away to investments, I would not probably give my kids a ton of money. I would probably put it more like into a living trust or something like that. Where they would still get some money, but hold just a... Sorry, I thought I had that plugged in and I apparently did not. I would make sure they were taken care of, but I don't necessarily want to give them a whopping big bunch of money where they just become lazy bums. Not that they would, but, So I'd take care of the kids, the grandkids, and the family. Like I would invest so that the family continues to do well. And I would give money to autoimmune encephalitis research. That is what Ben has on top of having an immune deficiency. He has autoimmune encephalitis, so I'd give money for that because that seems to be something that there's more of it out there than what people know, and it's being misdiagnosed, and the treatments for it are not great. So I would give a chunk of money to that. So then after I do all that stuff, what would I do just for me? And I decided that it would probably be, I would try and buy that lodge that we go to up in the Sandhills. And I thought about, well, you could buy a house or a lodge or something anywhere in the world with that kind of money. But it doesn't really hold any appeal. Something about the Sandhills of Nebraska holds a lot of appeal to me. So that is what I would do. I would buy the lodge. I would probably knock the current building down because it's in such bad shape at this point. I would knock it down, rebuild new, put a couple of cabins on the other side of the lake for when family comes to visit, hire a caretaker because I probably wouldn't want to live there year-round, probably most of the year, but not probably during the winter time. I don't think I would like it so much. I don't know. I'd try it. So I'd hire a caretaker to take care of and Dan and I aren't getting any younger, so having someone else take care of it for us would be, and then we can just enjoy it, because why not? He's worked all his life. He deserves that. So that's what I would do. So what would your pipe dream for you be if you had the funds to do it? What would be the first thing that you would do after all the basic stuff? Just curious. I think with that, I'm going to call it good. yeah, I I think that's it. I think I'll call this good. I'll make my notes so I can get this posted since I didn't have one out last week, and we will see you next weekend in the video I recorded before this. So you take care until next time. Bye-bye.